Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Doctor Who. This time we're on season 12, episode 10, which is the season finale, which is the part two. We can say of the season of this series season finale. So I was wrong about the last one. I thought the last one was the one, but no, this one is the final episode of this season. I presume also this year. I think I've heard news about them filming season 13 and all that stuff, but I don't know when it's going to be released. I think this is the final one for this year. So if that's true, then I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I do know what I'm going to do for the rest of the year. There are other shows I watch, but from a Doctor Who perspective, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because then, if this is the finale, it's probably going to give us an ending and a story tease that's going to leave us speculating for the rest of the year. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know what I'm going to do without the Doctor in my life. But yeah, this one is called The Timeless Children. So all this time we've been thinking there's only been one. There's only been the Timeless Child, but no, there's apparently more of them than we thought. So there's the Timeless Children now. Yeah, last episode was the ascension of the Cybermen, and we saw the result of the Doctor having given the lone Cyberman the Cyberium, and they travelled into the future to see what happened, and then there were very, very few humans left. I think it was still on Earth, I believe. Or at least it was some edge of the universe, so it could have been a different planet, it could have been something else, but I don't know. But there was there were 7 humans left, I believe. Like not even fighters or soldiers, just literally survivors who managed to last as long as they did, until some cyber drones came along and blew them all up, or most of them anyway. But yeah, we had some flashbacks here and there as well of Brendan. Like, he was a baby left in a basket in the middle of the road, and a man came along and found him, and then him and his wife adopted said baby after they couldn't find the parents or something. And then he grew up, he had a life, he became a police officer, was shot and fell off a cliff and managed to walk away from that without so much as a scratch. And by the end of it, he was an old man, he reached his retirement age, but then his dad and the man who originally employed him just didn't seem to age a bit. And the creepiest part being, they took him back into the office and did some kind of mind warping shit on him, saying that they needed to wipe everything. So what I went with initially was that it was some kind of cyber conversion, because them saying they needed to wipe everything, given it was a Cyberman episode, I figured what they meant was, we need to remove all of your emotions, we need to prep you for physical cyber conversion. But then other people, I think the majority of people I saw on Twitter and Reddit were saying he could be a timeless child. He could be the timeless child, because I think apparently some people were saying that the headset looked similar to what the Doctor uses for the chameleon circuit. I think where she removes her Time Lordy aspect of herself and becomes a human, like in Human Nature and like Roots Doctor did. So it could have been that. Like he could have been the timeless child, or just something else could have happened where he became the timeless child, and it could be why he survived the gunshot on the fourth cliff. Like it could have been something to do with could have been something to do with regeneration. So yeah, I don't know what's happening. I felt really stupid saying that you could have been a Cyberman, because I think, given that it was a Cyberman centric episode, I figured, okay, you know what, it kind of makes sense to me that they could be prepping him for cyber conversion, and they didn't show the physical aspect, but I thought maybe this was them traveling back in time to earlier generations of humans to find more to recruit, because I think it was the aftermath of the cyber war where the Doctor traveled to. But we know that, the Cybermen, they like to, see if the victims they hunt down are upgrade worthy, or if they're just better off dead. So I figured, the earlier back they go, then the more humans they have to pick from as time goes on. And especially if they start off early, then they're a lot more stealthy about it, so they wouldn't just send an army to Earth in like the 1990s or whatever and just kill off everyone. But they'd plant some people down there to weed out the potential cyber people, which in this case could have been for Brendan's dad and his boss. But I mean, they could have been Time Lords themselves. It's what people are saying in connection to the Timeless Child theory. They could have been I think maybe, I don't know, because if he is the Timeless Child, I mean, we still don't know exactly what it is. Like we've been given hints and teasers, and the Master told us that the existence of the Time Lords is based off of the lie of the Timeless Child. So what that lie is, what the Timeless Child is exactly, we don't really know. If it's something to do with the Time Lords having, I think maybe it's to do with regeneration. Maybe, Brendan was the only one revealed to be able to regenerate, so maybe he's the one that, unlocked that ability for them. That's like a huge biological advancement for their race. So, maybe it was that, because I think the Time Lords, I think they're called the Time Lords because they mastered the art of time travel, but the regeneration thing, I don't think, maybe it's just like something that they inherited from Brendan, or something that they extracted from Brendan, but we have yet to actually find out what the Timeless Child is. So Cyberman, I believe, could be off the list, and especially with the ending. The ending showed us that the Boundary, which was what Ko-Shamus was taking people to for them to escape to another galaxy and escape the clutches of the Cybermen. The Boundary was the portal that they were taking. The Doctor looked through it, but then once she opened it, after a while, it actually like another world actually started, like a literal other world started to show up in there, and that world was Gallifrey. Like the present day one, not even like a past one where everything was shiny and there were Time Lords there, but like the present day destroyed by the Master Gallifrey. And speaking of destroyed by the Master himself popped through at the end in full on cliffhanger style and said, "Be afraid, because everything is about to change forever." So yeah, and it's great to see Satch's Master back again. It's great to see him back and see exactly. I think, now that the Cybermen stuff seems to be somewhat over, I think it's going to be like less of the Cybermen this time and now more of the Timeless Child and Gallifrey and exactly everything that's going to be going on with that. So it'll be fun to see how all that stuff unfolds and what that stuff is about. But yeah, we had that, and Yaz and Graham were on their own little duo. They were with the remaining humans, and they were on the cyber carrier, unfortunately, because Ashad, the lone Cyberman, and his own cyber crew not only landed on that same cyber carrier, but they also woke up the army of Cybermen that were like waiting there. They were just kind of lying dormant on the cyber carrier. So now he unleashed an army on them. We saw them opening up the door and start firing their laser guns, but we didn't see what happened to Yaz and Graham. So no idea what's going to happen in that sense. But yeah, I think it's because like, again, the episodes have been cut down. It used to be like 13 episodes, and then it got cut down to 10. So I mean, sure, we get one more episode, which is the actual season finale. But it's still, I don't know. It just feels like, it still feels like it's gone on almost too quickly. I think it's just like, me personally, from my perspective, the way I've been kind of digesting this season, I feel like we've gotten some good episodes. Like the season opened great, it opened up great, and it brought us back to one of the teasers from last season, which was the Timeless Child. So we received confirmation that the Timeless Child is going to be explored in this one. But then in this season, it just feels like it hasn't been explored. We've had that one extra tease of the Master being pissed off after finding out what the Timeless Child is and then destroying Gallifrey as a process. But other than that, we haven't even, the Doctor hasn't even bothered to do any research on, you'd think that, if the existence of the Time Lords is based off of the Timeless Child, then the TARDIS itself might have some kind of room or library or something dedicated to, or even in the TARDIS library, it might have like a few books here and there, but instead she's just gone back and forth to Gallifrey to actually see it back in its destroyed form and stuff like that. So I think it's like, it makes me more interested to find out what it is, but it also kind of makes me annoyed because I'm just like, I have nothing to I don't even have anything to theorize on at this point. Like the Timeless Child, a Time Lord's time for children. Like, I think it sounds terrible, but again, like that kind of stuff is like, one tease here, then nothing else for the rest of the season. New season starts up, then we have another tease, and then it's just just wait until something else comes along. And I'm not gonna lie, I have still thoroughly enjoyed this season more than I did the last season, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like they're taking the word tease too literally, like a new piece of information for one episode, and then a few episodes later, just nothing else. So yeah, but either way, it's the season finale, so all of our questions will potentially be answered in this one, and we can use the rest of the year to figure out what this actually means for the lore of Doctor Who, and what it means for the rest of the year as well. And in 2021, I presume, when Doctor Who comes back, then we can, enjoy it again. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, well, Well, yeah, I mean, this season jump-started back up on New Year's Day, so literally at the start of this year. So, I mean, I don't want to have to wait another whole year for Doctor Who to come back. I think this year they might do a Christmas special, right? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they might do. Maybe. I don't know. I think it would be fun to see another Christmas special again. But we'll just have to wait and see, and just wait and see. That's it. That's all I feel like we've been doing this season, just waiting and seeing to see if we get any new answers, or just see if we get stuck with endless speculation. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much all I've got from the last episode. So yeah, watching the live stream of iPlayer right now. So I'll see you guys when the episode starts.
Come on, ask me why I did this.
So you're pissed off about the timeless child. You told us this before.
Why did you do this?
Not telling you. Oh, crooked smile.
Proud of yourself?
Definitely.
All the stuff.
We use their armour so they don't notice us. That way, we can move around.
You wear a cyber suit.
So you want us to disguise ourselves as Cybermen?
Well, I didn't say it was a perfect plan, did I? But it is the best one we got.
Well, it reminds you of The Walking Dead, where they wear the walker guts to walk through the dead.
You look rough.
Or is that a choice? Don't mean to conversion shame you.
Oh, Jesus.
I want you to think of me as your new best friend. Now.
Best friend ship involves emotion. They don't do emotion.
Beautiful. I promise I'll roll out the red carpet. It's red because it's drenched in the blood.
Oh, this. I'm not gonna lie, I love this version of the Master. I love Satchel the Master, but God, he's a megalomaniac.
You know, I'm gonna sound like a proper old man, but doing your family proud. Yes. In fact, you're doing the whole human race proud.
Please don't kill Yaz or Graham. Please don't.
So, sorry, I haven't offended you, have I?
Oh, quite the opposite. The polar opposite, Graham.
It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Oh, don't kill Yaz, please. Please.
You're not such a bad human yourself, either.
I've just said all them lovely things about you, and all you give me is you're not such a bad human.
Mate, I'm from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
That's a love letter.
Yeah. Yeah. How very human. Yeah. How very British as well. Oh, tell me this works. Tell me this actually works. Come on. Do they have to talk? Are there like voice modulators and shit? Are you sniffing them? Do Cybermen have a distinct smell?
Or so she thought.
Regeneration! Oh crap! So the child regenerated! So this is where they get the regeneration from. The first regeneration of all Gallifreyans.
Of any person on the planet of Gallifrey.
Oh crap! Oh no, landing straight on top of the Citadel. Do you people have no decency? Straight on top of the Citadel. There we go. Perfect. Yep. Ace in the hole. Yeah. Swish, yeah.
The death particle.
The death particle?
One particle, when activated, capable of destroying all organic life.
Oh, crap. Sounds very deadly. Very deadly. Yeah, she changed and changed and changed. So where did the child herself come from?
Spliced into herself the genetic ability to regenerate.
Oh, crap. This is the first Gallifreyan to regenerate.
Didn't know any of this. Shobogans grew in knowledge and ability.
Of
They built
course.
themselves a citadel. They discovered the ability to travel through time as well as space.
Huh, of course, yeah. Time Lords.
With Tecteun, but he would restrict the regenerative process
To Time
a
Lords.
maximum of 12
Oh,
times.
oh, to 12 times.
The
Ah.
timeless child became the base genetic code for all Gallifreyans within the Citadel.
So all Gallifreyans can
Civilizations
regenerate?
renamed them.
Is it the Doctor?
Haven't you worked this out yet?
Or is it the Master? It's the Master.
You.
The Doctor is the timeless child. What? No.
You are the timeless child.
What?
No. No, I'm not.
The Doctor is the timeless child. Yeah?
How about now?
How the turntables, huh? How the turntables.
Get this hat off.
This hat off. If only cyber helmets were an accessory.
Come on, Siberian. Show us some leg.
Oh, Jesus.
Not leave me while I live.
Oh,
Looks like the Master's gonna have to kill you then.
put it together. What do you get?
A cyber Time Lord.
Absolute supremacy in the universe. I'm not sure you can cope with much.
Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. The Doctor is angry now.
Right to know my own life.
Yeah, the Doctor is angry now. You gave her a tease, and now she wants the rest. Yeah, she's angry now. She wants the whole truth.
Tecteun put a visual filter over it so that no one who watched it would find it remarkable. I transmitted them into your mind as you
Ah.
apology.
Oh, so the Brendan stuff was just a cover. It was really Tecteun finding the timeless child. Service to the division. Oh. Oh, no.
Perfect army, right?
So regeneration isn't enough? You want the armored upgrade is... Oh! God damn! Cyberlords, time cybers. They even got the...
Well, let's test it out. Wait.
It's gonna regenerate.
Yes, it could.
Regenerative Cybermen. Are you serious right now?
For Gallifrey.
Oh no.
The end of the universe.
Oh, he's going Razalon. He's going full Razalon.
We're gonna find her and we're gonna rescue her. She's done it for us enough times, now it's our turn.
That's the spirit, but there are literal cyber masters walking away from here.
Have you ever been limited by who you were before?
That's a good point. Yeah. Eventually the whole no interference thing got way ahead of her. You know.
Now that does sound like me talking.
Yeah.
So tired.
That's a mood right there.
I've fought the Matrix before, denied its reality. I can do it again.
I guess that's a classic Who thing, yeah.
Have a blast of this, Matrix.
What are you gonna do? What's she gonna think? She's just gonna play the theme? She's gonna play the theme? Yep, all of her faces, all of her lives, the ones we know of. Yeah. Yeah, overloading it. Overloading that trap. There we go.
No humans on Gallifrey.
If it helps, we have explosives.
Sounds like, thingy. Strax. Is it Strax? I think the Sontaran dude.
I have to use the death particle on Gallifrey. On my home.
Oh. Take out the Cyber Masters.
And his new
Yeah.
Cybermen.
You sure you want to do that?
Oh.
I'm sure I don't want to do that, but there's no alternative.
If you detonate that thing, you'll die too.
That's the way it has to be.
She can't. Can she? Is she gonna have to reject? No. No.
And I would do that in a heartbeat. For this universe. My fam.
No. Don't do sacrifices now, please.
You're not doing this. Me as. Please.
Oh no.
Yes.
You want me to be scared of it because you're scared of everything. But I am so much more than
That's my doctor.
I was part of a resistance unit that sent the Siberian back through time and space.
Oh.
Obviously, we didn't send it back far enough.
Huh. Oh. Oh, he still managed to press it. Off goes the death particle. Oh, damn, so it's materializing as a house. As a literal house. This one has the chameleon circuit still intact. This one has a working chameleon circuit. Was she in a tree?
Yeah, nice.
Oh, oh.
Chameleon circuit.
Yeah. Whoa, what's this? Whoa! The Jaduna back!
Cold case unit.
Oh, snap.
Doctor. Sentence. Whole of life imprisonment. Maximum security facility.
Nuh-uh. Wait, what? Is she on the Shadow Proclamation? The Shadow Proclamation. No, don't end it there. Are you serious? The Doctor will return in Revolution of the Daleks. The Daleks again. Okay, that's new. That's new. Revolution of the Daleks. Okay, is that going to be a Christmas special? Or is that going to be what? I don't know. Talk about a season finale. Talk about a season finale. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Okay. So we finally find out who and what the Timeless Child is. It's a child not born of Gallifrey, but who gives birth to everything that Gallifrey becomes, and who gives birth to everything the Time Lords become anyway. So the Shobogans were the indigenous race of Gallifrey, the native Gallifreyan race, and they discovered some, like, I think he said, like, unstable space travel. Like they managed to create their own space travel, but it was fairly unstable and unreliable and not really that effective and stuff. And it was just unstable basically. But then it was Tecteun who during her journeys of discovering and exploring other worlds within the universe, and probably within Kasterborous or even outside of Kasterborous, just exploring other worlds, came across one where she found a gateway, where she found a boundary. I don't know if it's the boundary that we see the first time around, but it is a boundary that leads to another realm. So I'm gonna take that to mean that it's an alternate universe, another realm. That predominantly kind of says to me alternate universe, but I don't know if by another realm he just means like another world, as in like another corner of the universe, like a portal, like a gateway from point A to point B within the same shared dimensional plane of space. But either way, it's a portal to another world, and in front of that portal on that planet, she found a child. So she had two options: either leave the child, either save the child or leave the child. He said save the child, but I don't really think, she didn't seem to be, besides from being left alone, she didn't really seem to be in any immediate danger, but Tecteun decided to adopt the child anyway. She took her back to Gallifrey, but then I think it was on the way when she was on her ship anyway, she discovered that, I think it was back when she was on Gallifrey that she took her back to Gallifrey, and it was the same thing with the Brendan thing. Like, she suffered an accident, she fell off the side of a cliff and suffered a great fall, but no scratches, no marks, no bruises, no nothing. But that Timeless Child was the regeneration, the very first regeneration, not of a Gallifreyan, but just to take place on Gallifrey. Yeah, so the Timeless Child isn't even Gallifreyan, but she was the one who brought regeneration to Gallifrey. And we know exactly how, as the fans of this show, we know how essential and how kind of how much of a core value and core aspect to this show as a whole, as well as Time Lords, regeneration has been. Regeneration has been one of the driving forces of this show, all the way from Hartnell's Doctor. The fact that they introduced regeneration back then, and then carried it on through the second, third, and fourth, and so forth Doctors, is what's kept this show alive so long, and it's what's been allowing different people to actually come into this role. So now the hidden truth behind regeneration is that it's not even from a Gallifreyan, not a native Gallifreyan anyway, but someone else who was adopted by Tecteun, who brought regeneration to the Gallifreyan. So she regenerated, and then Tecteun spent years and even lives, even multiple regenerations of this child, to try and extract that from her, but also just learn what it was and how it worked and stuff. And then she gave it to the Time Lords. So Tecteun managed to grow old. I don't know if she died or if she. No, she didn't die. She managed to actually inject it on herself, so she had regeneration of her own. But she was one who then introduced the regeneration to the rest of the Gallifreyans, and then from that, from the idea of living multiple lives and being able to regenerate if your body's in that kind of danger, like if it's wounded or if you're on the verge of death, like that kind of thing, Tecteun discovered within the child, and then passed on to the rest, and then from that kind of, living multiple lives and living for such great periods of time, the Time Lord, the Time Lords themselves were born. They like, after that, regeneration brought that civilization so many more advancements. They built better space travel. They discovered and mastered the art of time travel. The Citadel was built. We saw that time lapse of the Citadel being built. So Gallifrey itself advanced into a new age and new ages because of something as simple as regeneration. Because I think, I think it's not just the fact that it's regeneration, but it's the fact that they were able to live for so long because they were able to plant themselves into new life and into new lifetimes. That they went further and further and discovered more and more about the universe and stuff. But then the Time Lord policy came along that they're sworn never to interfere, but only to actually observe other races and stuff. So that's always been a Time Lord thing. Even back in Classic Who we saw it was a Time Lord thing. But the Doctor is the one person who actually went against that policy, and actually went ahead and interfered. So yeah, but what? Okay, so. The Doctor is the timeless child. I feel like a lot of people might have said this, and pretty much straight from season 11, when those talking drapes announced it about the timeless child, people must have thought it was like, that's what she is, or this maybe what the Doctor is. But I mean, it doesn't. It kind of makes sense because again, it's like the whole point of the timeless child was that it was hidden from her. It was like the truth and the existence of the timeless child was hidden from the timeless child herself. So, being the timeless child is something that was hidden from her. The Brendan thing, I'm guessing that was like a hidden life as opposed to a cover. Like it was maybe a hidden life. Because at first, because when they were showing the parallels, like Brendan and the child falling off the cliff, and then the dad coming across the child in the middle of the road, and Tecteun coming across the child in front of the portal, like that's like those parallels. I thought it was maybe like them trying to hide that memory from her by creating like another memory over it. But then, if that's true, then she would have remembered it. Like it would have been a memory that she would have been able to access it. Like if it was only a cover, then they wouldn't need to hide the cover from her within the Matrix, but she still got to that cover. So. Yeah, but then, so I mean, if the timeless child thing, if she's lived that many, like we've seen she's lived different lives on like that, on like that kind of that bed that she was on when Tecteun was researching her. So so that means that all those lives were hidden from her because that was when she was the timeless child. I think they never really gave her a name. I don't think, and like the Doctor's name has also been like one of the other kind of driving force of the show. Like, what is the Doctor's name? Who is she? But then the Doctor is the name she chose, so that's what people go with. But then even as the timeless child, she like they never gave her a name. Like the Master never revealed any kind of name. Just the child. So then that kind of so when the regeneration thing came into effect, like they also so. One thing I actually heard a while ago was that, like a piece of lore about the Gallifreyans was that regeneration itself was a biological rank thing that was designated only to Time Lords. Like you had to become a Time Lord in order to regenerate, because the Time Lords were like the higher ups of Gallifrey. Like they were actually like kind of like race officials and time officials and whatnot. So like it's not all Gallifreyans who do it. There are literal civilian Gallifreyans and stuff, but the Time Lord is, I think Time Lord is like the main kind of job or like high society on Gallifrey. So children go to school and they join, and then they eventually join the academy and and then they learn to become Time Lords. That's like the main thing that's there. But yeah, so I think it's something I heard a while ago that Time Lords are the ones who are granted the regeneration because they're the ones who have to live long enough to actually to keep on observing stuff. But also they also restricted it to 12. I think he said like 12 regenerations, and that makes sense. Hartnell being the first, but then Capaldi was the reset. So then that means that so then that means that she like all she can remember is her faces from Hartnell onwards, and the only one she's chosen to forget since that time was the one we saw on the Dead the Doctor, which was the War Doctor, John Hurt's Doctor. But then that means Ruth had to. So could that mean that Ruth was a pre-Hartnell Doctor? Like, is that because I think people said that might just screw around with like Time Lord too much, but the Doctor is now the timeless child. She's had many more lives before having become the Doctor, and all that stuff. So even as a child, she had many faces, like almost as many as 10, 11, 12, whatever. But then the Time Lords themselves, I think the Doctor herself might have more than one regeneration, or like not more than one, but like more than 12, right? Because she's the one the Time Lords get it from. Like a piece of her is inside all the Time Lords because they managed to splice that regenerative capability and put it into all the other Time Lords, including the Masters. She's the one they get it from. But then if she's the first regenerator, then she can have as many as she wants. Like she's not limited to any. Like it's only the actual Gallifreyans it's passed down to. They actually limited it down to 12. Like, could they limit it to 12 for the Doctor as well? I don't know. I don't know if they mentioned that. I think he mentioned that they cut it down to 12 to 12 regenerations. 13 Doctors. So that's like for the Time Lords themselves, which she still is, but she's not like a native Gallifreyan. That's the only other thing. So she I think. But then again, that raises the question of where she actually comes from. If she's not Gallifreyan, where does she come from? Because Tecteun found her in front of that portal. I think whether or not she came through the portal, or whether she was there before the portal was, or whatever planet that was as well, it raises the question of where she comes from. I thought, seeing the kid, I thought that was going to be Ruth's Doctor. Yeah, the regeneration thing was not something I saw coming. It was not something I saw coming, but it did make sense towards the end. And thinking more about Brendan's one, I mean, with Brendan's, we didn't actually see any regeneration energy coming off him, or even any healing going on. Because again, over the years, the regeneration has looked different. It hasn't always been exploding in golden energy and all that stuff. That's just the magic of ever-evolving CGI. But yeah, so the Doctor is the timeless child. Yeah, they're doing a great job of twisting around this law. So the Doctor is the one that started it all. The Doctor is the Doctor is the reason that the Time Lords are as advanced as they are. She's the one who gave them the possibility of a multitude of lifetimes and more time to explore and create and advance themselves with their tech and all their policies and shit. So she's the reason that they're. I think, and that's what makes that's what makes the Master angry. That's what he found out, that the fact that the one person he hates most in the universe is the reason that he's been able to live as long as he has, and a piece of her is inside him. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. But yeah, but you could see it took a toll on the Doctor as well, like her just not even like knowing who she was anymore and figuring out that she wasn't even really she's still a Time Lord, but she just wasn't a Gallifreyan. Yeah, but she was the one that started it all. So I think it's a mixture. It's a mixture of having believed all of this for so long, but also just not really. And even the Master mentioned, like when she was younger, she didn't even feel like she fit in anymore. She felt like she was special, but more than anything, she felt that she was different, that she didn't fit in like the others. She felt like there was something wrong with her, which she was. She wasn't a native Gallifreyan. She was adopted by a Gallifreyan and brought here, and then grew up here as well. And she gave the Time Lords everything that gave them all their new kind of tech and advancements and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, wow, I'm still trying to process that stuff, but yes, the Doctor is the timeless child. She's the one who, I mean, I think maybe I'm thinking about the name too literally, but I don't know how the timeless comes into this. I think it's a cool sounding name, but in terms of actual meaning, I mean, she's not really. She can travel through time. She, if anything, she helped them discover time travel with the time she gave them. She gave them time. She gave them like many lifetimes of time. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much of that part, but yeah. So So that it gave them more and more advancements and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, so Tecteun and the Shobogans, yeah. The Panopticon, the Matrix. I think I've heard about the Matrix before. It's not to do with the Keanu Reeves movie, as awesome as it is, but it is actually. I think Matrix in itself just I think it just means like a library, right, or like a database of stuff that's like hidden and like encrypted and stuff. But in this case, with the Time Lords, I think in classic Who, I have heard about them. I've heard about like a Gallifreyan Matrix of some sort that the Doctor fiddled around with. And even in this, she said, I've beat you once before, I can beat you again. So there's that whole aspect. But yeah, so we'll get back to the Time of Child stuff. The Cyber Masters were a thing. So the Master had the brilliant idea of using Time Lord regenerative capabilities to actually, well, not even just that, but actually using some of the bodies of the Time Lords he kept behind, like some of the golden ones. I think the rest of them he probably destroyed down to the last cells, but a select few he actually kept behind to turn them into Cybermen, to Cyber Masters. So they could regenerate as many times as they want. I think that those ones he said they can regenerate endlessly, so there's no kind of cycle restriction. They can regenerate endlessly, and I think the designs of those Cybermen were cool. Like down like a nice mixture of Gallifreyan and Cybermen. Like they had those kind of curved helmet things. They had the circular Gallifreyan on them. They had I think they had robes as well at some point. So it was a nice incorporation into the actual suits of armor themselves. So the Time Lord bodies were still in there. So he also absorbed the Cyberium, so he could actually control them using the Cyberium too. So it was literally a newer master race of Cyber Lords, of Cyber Time Lords, Cyber Masters. Yeah. So it was a short-lived race, though. I was thinking on the one hand, it would be cool. I mean, it would be cool to see. It would be cool to see if they actually did make it off Gallifrey, and then the next season could be about them, about the Doctor and the companions going along through time and space, trying to stop the Cyber Masters and trying to take them down. But I think, given how big of a threat they were, I think it made sense that the Doctor was more adamant on actually stopping them while they were still on Gallifrey. Because if they left Gallifrey, then it would have been so much harder, and it's a lot more emotional turmoil for the characters to go through to try and track down the Cyber Masters as they go around destroying planet. So yeah, so it was a short-lived one. Ko-Sharmus himself sacrificed himself. I thought the sacrifice stuff, on the one hand, I thought the companions were going to die, because, with Graham telling Yaz, Graham is an amazing person, and, him taking time to tell Yaz that, you are one of the strongest women I know, you are one of the strongest people I know, you're not the Doctor, you don't have a sonic screwdriver, you don't have a TARDIS, you can't regenerate, but you are still one of the bravest people I know, never questioning anything, never, wondering if you're going to make it out alive, because all you care about is saving people and getting the job done, and you work well with the Doctor because of that. You are both amazing people, and I couldn't help but cry at that shit. And then Yaz couldn't help but shed a tear, and then Yaz, as a return, was come back like, you're an alright human being. You're an alright human being. And I wasn't expecting Graham to actually clap back with that. Really? I say all that nice stuff. I compliment you that much, and all you have to say is I'm an alright human being. Yeah, but that was it was good to see that. I think it upset. I mean, as happy as that scene made me, it upset me more because I thought, them saying all that stuff, like it was very much like a obvious last words kind of thing. Because he even said, in case we don't make it out this alive, I need you to know this. I need you to know that I love you and I respect you, and I love that we're friends and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so that kind of stuff, it just made me feel like one of them were going to... I thought when Ko-Sharmus came in at the end, I thought that was literally one of the companions coming in. I thought it was going to be maybe Graham. Yeah, I thought maybe it was going to be Graham, but no, Ko-Sharmus, he was part of the Alliance. Ko-Sharmus was a part of the Alliance that sent the Cyberium back. Right? So it's what Jack said, like there was an Alliance that sent the Cyberium back through time as a message to try and protect the future of mankind, to try and protect the future as a whole, and to stop the Cybermen from being reborn again. So Ko-Sharmus was a member of that alliance that sent the Cyberium back. So he's the one that actually sent it back in the first place, and then sent the lone Cyberman chasing it back through time as well. So he said he was the one that started it. He was going to be the one to finish it. So the Cybermen on the carrier were gone. They were taken out by the bomb, but then the Cybermasters, they were the much newer, much more advanced race of Cybermen, arguably the most powerful race of Cybermen yet to exist. So he said, you know what, I started this with the Cyberium, I'm gonna end it. And even with a couple dozen shots of cyber laser in him, he still managed to press the thing. I was afraid that I was afraid he wouldn't even press it. I was afraid that they shot him right before he pressed it, which they did. But then I thought, he had just enough amount of energy within him to actually press it at the last second. So yeah, so that happened. So I think it took out all organic life. So the Master is gone. Is that what's gonna happen? The Master is never gone. The Master can never be gone for too long. Something's gonna happen. He's either gonna regenerate, or something else is gonna happen. But the Cybermasters, I assume they're gone. Because I feel like with that, they might just go with one or the other. They might just kind of try and pick and choose which one they keep out of the Master and the Cybermasters. And as cool as the Cybermasters are, I don't think that I don't know how well. Because if they bring back both of them, then it just means that Koshama's sacrifice was for nothing. Because I feel like in order for Koshama's sacrifice to be worth something and to have worked, he needs to take out the Cybermen. The Cybermen were who he was trying to take out mainly. So have his sacrifice take out the Cybermen, but the Master still makes it out of there somewhere. Because I think maybe he could have teleported or transmattered. He could have done something to get out of there. But then the Cybermasters were the ones following his orders, focused on taking out Koshama's. So the Cybermasters were the ones taken out by the Death Particle. But then the Master himself actually managed to, escape within an inch of his life, or he managed to escape before he regenerates. I mean, I want to see more of Sacha Dhawan's Master. So he managed to. So I think maybe he manages to escape, but he needs to regenerate to heal his body, but not so much to actually change his face. So yeah, but I mean, his face he got from O anyway. He got. I think did he? Yeah, I think he got his face from O anyway. So. Yeah, so he managed to escape with enough energy to actually regenerate into like a fresher version of himself. So he keeps the face, but he's much more healed. So yeah, but the companions are back home. They're back on Earth in the 21st century, presumably in 2020. But the companions are back home. But I don't know why. I thought when the Doctor got back into the TARDIS, that everyone would be there. Like, the camera didn't even pan over to show anyone else, didn't show any kind of reunion. It just showed her being back in her TARDIS, and she wasn't even in her TARDIS. She was in the actual working TARDIS, like the first Doctor's TARDIS, or the very kind of like like an earlier model of the TARDIS, which was that. But then the companions got sent back to Earth, and both of them reunited. But both of them were sent back in TARDISes with working chameleon circuits. So the companions and the humans were sent back in a TARDIS that disguised itself as a house, and then the Doctor sent back in a TARDIS which disguised itself as a tree. So I mean, that one just blows my mind. Like how she would open the door to a tree like that. And I think it's because again another core concept of Doctor Who, the fact that the TARDIS convenience circuit has been defective for so long that it's the iconicness, the iconicism. I don't know. It's known to be iconic because of the police box that makes up the TARDIS. So seeing it in other forms is just kind of weird. Seeing it as we've seen it as other stuff. We've seen it as as a thing, I mean, even Ruth's Doctor had a police box TARDIS, so that was that. But we've seen it as a diner, like Clara and Ashulda had a diner TARDIS. The Master's TARDIS was his own cabin in the middle of the desert. So seeing it as a house is just kind of weird. But the house one makes sense because it still has a door. But a tree, like I just imagine looking through it from the outside, you see a tree that just kind of opens up somehow. And you just see like a massive console in the middle as well. So, yeah, but she actually reunited with her original TARDIS. She left her TARDIS elsewhere. I think she left her TARDIS back on Earth, where she actually met the original humans, the surviving humans anyway. So she reunited with that one. But yeah, so the companions were sent back home. I assume because they're alive, we'll be seeing them again. So I don't know how That's gonna go. But yeah, so the ending. So the Jadoon came back. The Jadoon came back. They said the Jadoon always catch up on their cases. The Jadoon always come back for their fugitives, for their arrest. They always find a way back. So the Jadoon found her, and they teleported back onto the TARDIS, and they arrested her for being a fugitive. So they arrested her. They imprisoned her as well. They imprisoned her via teleport. So I think what was that? I think when it zoomed out, I thought it was the Shadow Proclamation, but the Shadow Proclamation looks very different. So I'm assuming that's just like a prison, like a prison unit of some sort. Maybe near the Shadow Proclamation, near something else. I don't know, but it looked more like an actual prison than the Shadow Proclamation. But she was in an imprisonment unit. And then it ended there. I was so pissed off when I heard that of the closing theme, because that is not where I wanted it to end. I wanted there to be more. But they just end it with her being imprisoned. And no next time trailer, no nothing like that. No next time trailer. Just the Doctor will return. Just a Marvel style. The Doctor will return in the Revolution of the Daleks. So that is going to be our next episode. Whether it's going to be the like a new season opener or it's going to be like a Christmas special, I don't know. I would love to know that at least. I would love to know exactly what kind of episode and when Doctor Who will be returning to our screens. BBC, yeah, thank you. But yeah, Revolution of the Daleks is where the Doctor is going to be returning, and hopefully with the companions. But yes, so the Daleks are returning as well. The Daleks are returning too. So yeah, so this episode we had the kind of the focus on the prevention of the rebirth of the Cybermen. Next episode we'll have the revolution of the Daleks. The revolution of the Daleks. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, the death particle. We had the one particle to destroy all organic life on a planet. I thought when he first described it, I thought, he did say like the death of everything is within me. So he did literally mean the death particle. But I thought when he said the end of everything, I thought he meant using that particle to single-handedly like a infinity snap to literally just destroy all life throughout the universe, all organic life throughout the universe. So, but then the humans said that that they heard about the myth about the death particle, and it was about actually just wiping out life on a planet. So I don't know if that means it would be a one-time thing, or if it would actually be reusable, if it requires a recharge. I mean, it sounds like a pretty powerful thing, like a death particle, like wiping out all organic life. But I don't know if it would be a one-time thing. But regardless, the death particle has been used now. Even if it is a one-time thing, then it's been used to wipe out the Master, and presumably as well the Cyberium, if it can be destroyed. And also the Cyber Masters too. So I'm hoping they get rid of the Cyber Masters, but the Master himself comes back. Because with or without the Cyber Masters, he can still be a menacing villain. He doesn't need an army. He wanted the army to be able to lead a new army into a new universe and wipe out everything else. So the Master will come back with a new plan, preferably with the same face. Because I'd love to see more of Sacha Dhawan's Master. But he will presumably be back within the next season. So, yeah, but that's all I've written for this finale. But yeah, I loved this season. I think, again, I feel like, I think this finale itself did surprisingly well. I think I would have much preferred that they actually kind of sprinkle stuff along, like I said before the episode, because the way Chibnall did it was to actually do the opening with this kind of secret of the Timeless Child and destroyed Gallifrey, and then over the rest of the episode just do other story episodes, and then have stuff slowly being seeped in throughout. It feels like the season premiere and the season finale were the ones that focused on the Timeless Child and all the Master stuff, and then all the episodes in between kind of hinted and teased here and there in the barest possible ways, but all the episodes in between were still following the season 11 formula of being completely fresh and original stories with different characters and even historical figure episodes as well. So, but overall as a season, I love the season over. I mean, as much as I love Jodie's introductory season, I think this one as a story and as a season arc, it worked a lot better than season 11. Season 11 had little to no arc, so this one actually took the time to tell us that, we are going to do the Timeless Child. That is what we're going to do for this one, so we're going to show you that stuff. So, I think, part of me, as the episodes went on and like the kind of teasers and kind of information about the Timeless Child grew much more minimal, I was afraid that they were going to do a thing where they cramped all of that stuff into the premiere and the finale, which they kind of did, but at the same time, for me, like from my viewing experience, it kind of worked anyway, because we still got the information in the finale and in the premieres, and we still got those teasers. So it worked. Somehow it worked, but yeah, and again, the Master coming back as well, Sacha Dhawan, he killed it as the Master of the season, especially in this episode. Like, you really see, this is for the most part, this is the classic Master we know. It's the Master that hates the Doctor. It's the Master, I think, this one seems somewhat more sadistic. Well, I say somewhat more sadistic. He seems as sadistic as we can expect the Master to be. But this one, I feel like I think, this one definitely fits the sadism of the typical Master, wherein he wants to wreak havoc and blow shit up, but he also wants the Doctor to be forced to sit and watch as he does it. Like back in season 3, when the Master used the Toclafane to take over the Earth, and he made the Doctor, like an older version of the Doctor, watch as he did it, as he literally started tearing down Earth. That this one, he got on the verge of it with the Cyber Masters. No doubt in the world, he would have used them to attack Earth and strip them to the same kind of destruction level that he put Gallifrey into. So Sacha Dhawan's Master, he was such a pleasure to watch on the screen. He was so amazing at this role, and I think he definitely referenced on Twitter that he definitely thinks that playing Warwick Suzanne, the first director of Doctor Who, was definitely like a stepping stone into this universe. So playing the Master was like an unforeseen extra mile that he was able to take. But Sacha Dhawan, he completely killed it. He completely blew this role out of the water. Loved his Master. Would love to see more of him in the show as the Master. But yeah, this is such a great Master. Just a really great Master. And yeah, like this season, I think with the Timeless Child stuff, I think they I think on the one hand, I think the lack of that much information to begin with did kind of I think in some way it kind of, I think we know why they didn't hold on, hail hydration. I think on the one hand they gave us enough to kind of theorize about, but at the same time I think for me personally, it was too little to theorize on. There was no tease there was no tease of the concept of the Timeless Child. They just mentioned the Timeless Child, and then the Master said that's the Timeless Child is what the existence of the Time Lord is based off of, and he said it was a lie too. But I'm struggling to find out. I'm struggling to think what they actually lied about. I mean, the existence of the Timeless Child, maybe. Or maybe the fact that they told them that this is how Time Lords are, that this is what Gallifreyans are, that the Gallifreyans have always had this is what makes us Gallifreyans, but not the fact that Gallifreyans never had this to begin with, like an indigenous Gallifreyan found a child from the farthest reaches of space, from another realm, from another universe, and they brought her to Gallifrey, and then that Gallifreyan discovered the ability to regenerate within this child, and then she extracted that, and then she actually passed it on to all the other Time Lords. She used it on herself as well. So the Doctor, the Timeless Child, is where they get all of that stuff from. But yeah, so I think from that lie and the fact that their existence is based on that lie, I think it was a bit more to theorize on. But then, given exactly what the Time Lords are like, so the Time Lords are known for their regeneration. They're known for their time travel, their space travel. They're like kind of observe only rules. So like all of that stuff. Like I think. You wonder if it's like, you know, like you wonder if like like exactly which one of those capabilities or which advancement that they have, or what aspect of their life that they have isn't actually theirs to begin with, and something that they kind of like took from someone else, like that was something that they inherited from someone else. But then with the Master again, he was the first of the he was the first of the two, the first of him and the Doctor to actually find out about this. And given his already pre-existing hatred of the Doctor, to find out that to find out that he's only lived as long as he has because of her, and that he has a piece of her inside him, with his regenerative selves, again, that would understandably piss him off. The fact that the fact that again, like the intelligence of the Time Lords comes from their ability to regenerate, to live as long as they do. The fact that they live longer than most races, and the fact that they use that time to study more about the universe and create all of this amazing technology, and to grow TARDISes, to grow little boxes that are bigger on the inside and can camouflage, so it can can't even talk anymore, can camouflage themselves in different environments and all that sort of stuff. Like, everything, like the Master prides himself on his intellect and his genius and his brilliance and all that sort of stuff. But, that, again, he's a Time Lord, and that's that kind of that expansive knowledge is a result of that kind of the Doctor's Gallifrey, the Doctor's original timeless child in biology. And then again, I think that's the question I have. Where is she from then? Like, where is she actually? Like, is she from that planet? Did she come through? Did she come through the wormhole? And that's how Tecteun found her. Like, where's the Doctor actually from? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I asked this question, but no one's actually going to answer me. You guys can't answer me because you're going to be watching this hours ahead of after I've recorded this. But yeah, because again, she didn't find her on Gallifrey. I think she was either from that planet with the boundary, or she came through the boundary. But yeah, she's not a native Gallifreyan. No, not even an indigenous one, but she's not a native Gallifreyan. So yeah, but she is the Doctor, and I think that's what Ruth's Doctor showing up in the Matrix actually proved to her. The fact that has who, like the fact that who she is has never actually stopped her from doing something. Again, the Time Lords themselves prided themselves, like one of the things the Time Lords prided themselves on was their resistance to interference. Like they prided themselves on their observance only, observation and not observance, observation only, no interference kind of rule, where they observe other races but they don't actually interfere in any otherworldly affairs. So like that kind of stuff has never stopped her. She's known for being the Time Lord that interferes, the one that goes into other worlds and finds problems and solves them and saves people. Like, she's known, that's why she calls herself the Doctor, because she goes around helping them. I think there was there's a story about this. There's an actual episode about that. I think back in Classic Who, I think it was Colin Baker's Doctor, the Sixth Doctor. They had like the trial of a Time Lord. I think. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I think I know that I know that episode, or those episodes, if it's a multiple part thing, because I know like a lot of Classic Who runs by 4-part, 5-part episodes and stuff within a single series. The trial of a Time Lord, I think that story actually revolves around the Doctor being charged with breaking the Time Lord rule of no interference. And I think he talks about and I think he talks about what's the point of having all of this power, all of this knowledge, and the ability to regenerate, the ability to live like this if we can't help other people within the universe, if we can't go around actually doing something good instead of watching back as worlds collide and races get destroyed and stuff like that. But I think I've heard that that's the main gist of it. I saw a clip of it. But I think that's the story. The trial of Time Lord actually focuses on that. But the Doctor has always, she's never stopped. She's always known she's a Time Lord, and she knows what the majority of Time Lords are all about. No interference, only observation. But she's never let that stop her. She's the first Doctor stole a TARDIS and ran away, and up until the 8th Doctor, the Time Lords were always a thing, and that's how the trial of a Time Lord comes to play. And after that, she was meant to be the last of them. Up until the Master was re-revealed. But yeah, even being known for being a Time Lord, she's never stopped that. She's never let that rule stop her. So now, knowing that she's not even really a Time Lord, she's a non-native Gallifreyan, who gave Gallifreyans what they have now. But she's not going to let that stop her either. She's still the Doctor. More than anything in the universe, she is the Doctor, and she wants herself to be known for helping people, for going around, traveling through time, saving people, not hunting things, not the family business, wrong show. But she prides herself on actually being there to help people and giving people hope and being there to actually just helping people. Time Lord or not, she will always want to help people and use the technology and the knowledge she has to help people. So yeah, but it's one hell of a twist to the lore. It's one hell of a twist to the lore. The Doctor isn't even a native, like a native to Gallifrey. She's the reason the Time Lords exist. So. Yeah, that's one hell of a twist to the lore. One hell of a twist. And I think I think on the one hand, I think it changes more than we realize. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's like again the message that Ruth gave the Doctor, like you are more than what they made you to be, or like you are more than just a regenerator. I think it's like again, like for a show that started off with the Doctor being one of these people and just having a life cycle of regenerations, but now again the Doctor, I don't know if they restricted hers. I don't know if they restricted her life cycle, because I think he mentioned that the Time Lords came up with a thing where they restrict it to 12 lifetimes. But I don't know if they did that to her though, because I think she's the one they got it from. They can't. I think she's the one who started it. She's the one who had it in the first place. I don't know. I think they managed to extract it from her, or like to splice that ability from her and pass it on to others. But I don't think they could actually modify it within her own body. No, I don't know. I don't think so. So then, would the 12 cycles thing even be? Again, I don't know. I can't remember if they actually specified whether the 12 cycles thing was added to her. But they did a good job of hiding it from her though. They did a good job of hiding it from her actually convincing her, and I think maybe would it count as brainwashing? I don't know, but they did a good job of leading her to believe that she was one of them through and through, and that she had the same life cycles they had and all that sort of stuff. And even to the point of Matt Smith's Christmas special, like the cracking the sky open and a new cycle of regeneration energy came into him, and then he started a new cycle into Capaldi. So, yeah, but damn, God friggity damn it. Okay, so, but yeah, this season, I think this season definitely ended on a high note. So I think they did definitely end on a cliffhanger. I am very, very excited to see where they actually go from here and what they actually go into from here. But yeah, this season has been a roller coaster ride of emotion and teasers and plot twists and all that sort of stuff. So it's been a season I've enjoyed more than the previous one, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing how they move on from here, because there's no storyline tease either. Like it's just like how we've ended off is the Master is the Cyber Masters are presumably gone. Koshama sacrificed himself. The humans and the companions are back on Earth in the 21st century. The Doctor has been imprisoned by the Jadoon, so we're going to have some kind of prison break in the next episode. Whether or not the next episode is going to be like a holiday special, or if it's going to be a season opener of some sort, we don't know that for sure. But we do know it's going to have the Daleks. It's going to have the Daleks. But yeah, so the Doctor will have to move forward now with this knowledge and with this newfound kind of just this newfound knowledge that she is who she is, regardless of where she comes from and what she's given to other people. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how we move forward. It's gonna be interesting to see how we move forward with this info, and how we actually move forward into the show and into the season with this info. She still has a TARDIS. She still has all this knowledge. And that also makes sense how she has all this knowledge. Like the indigenous Gallifreyans, it means this is from centuries and centuries back, from when the Gallifreyans first came about, and when Gallifrey was first created and life first came to exist on Gallifrey. And it was one of those. Very. I think the ancients of Gallifrey, because we've heard the general dude from the Day of the Doctor talk about that, like the ancients who created some of the oldest and most powerful weapons, including the moment that we saw on the Day of the Doctor. So I don't know if the indigenous ones were the ancients of Gallifrey, like maybe. Yeah, maybe because the indigenous people are the first Gallifreyans, so maybe they were the ones who created it. And maybe they lasted long enough through regeneration to actually come up with this. I mean, I don't think they would have come up with it first, because their first creations were space travel. That they came up with space travel, and the master said even that was faulty and it was unreliable, so it wasn't really very stable space travel. So I think once they managed to get regeneration themselves, that's when they evolved. And then like when the indigenous Time Lords when the indigenous Gallifreyans were like at the end of their life cycle, they created these weapons using their own advancements, and then like a new era, a new age of Time Lords came into existence, and they started to build the Citadel and create better space travel and even master time travel. But then the Doctor, unknowingly, has been around for all of it. She was brought to Gallifrey in the very beginning, and she lived through so many other lives and so many other faces as a child alone. And then she became a Time Lord. I think they mentioned something about the division, a test. I think they said that for the most part, the Time Lords pride themselves on their observation only policy. But then they said that there are times when policy and reality have to diverge or have to come together, or something happens. So then there's a test called the division, which is where they actually kind of plant themselves onto different races or into different planets or into different civilizations, and like plant themselves there and then like see what they can do in terms of observation or something. But the clock that was in the background of Brendan's mind wipe or whatever said, for your service to the division. So that was his other thing. Maybe that was Brendan's thing. So I mean, if Brendan really was a life that the Doctor lived, then he was one of the faces of the Doctor that had his mind wiped. Maybe he was maybe as a baby, because I think they turned her back into a child. They turned her back into a baby, left her in the middle of the road, and then Brendan's life cycle was pretty similar to what it was like for the Doctor originally, as the time of the child. What it was like for her originally, where she actually became a baby and actually was found by a parent, or someone who would later turn out to be her parent, and lived a life and fell off the cliff and then healed herself and walked away from it and all of that sort of stuff. So I think what the division is, I don't know exactly what it might be. Maybe it's like they wipe the memory, turn it back into a child, and then and I think we only saw that happening to Brendan. We only saw that happening to the Doctor now, I guess we can say. So I don't think they actually. I don't know if they actually, conducted the division on any other Time Lord, see if they would work on them. But I don't know what the reason for the division was. I don't know. I guess I have to watch the episode back again, or just go on Twitter where everyone's gonna talk about it anyway. But yeah. So I think she mentioned them turning her back into child. I think that was for what it was when she was Brendan's life. But then they wiped her memory and said thank you for your service, and even on the back of the clock it said for your service to the division. So that was that sort of stuff. So yeah, so she's lived lives. She's lived lives before Hartnell. So Ruth could very well be a pre-Hartnell Doctor. She very well could be a pre-Hartnell Doctor, but Ruth could be one of the lives she lived as the Timeless Doctor. Maybe it was the fugitive. Well, she was a fugitive, but yeah, the Ruth stuff. I think physically speaking, I mean that episode, like the fugitive, the Judean episode. I think in some way that still kind of like conflicts with the Timeless Child stuff, right? Because then where would she like the episode we saw her? Where would she have come from? If she really wasn't like a version of the Doctor, where would she have come from? I don't know, but Ruth is a version of the Doctor. I think it might make more sense for her to be a pre-Hartnell version, but it's like her being one of the faces of the Timeless Child is the reason she was hidden from her. But then Ruth thought that Ruth thought that the Doctor, the Jodie's Doctor, was in her future, didn't she? Or like she said, I turn into you? No, you turn into me? Yeah. Yeah, she thought that she thought that Jodie's doctor was in her past. Yeah, because she recognized her, and then she thought she was a past face. So that kind of stuff is messing with my brain. But I mean, it's fairly warm in this room, so that alone is just frying my brain up. But yeah, season finale, awesome, just awesome. So yeah, I've been talking for a while. I've been recording for almost 2.5 hours, so it's an amazing finale. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they move forward into the show with this information and what they actually do with this information going forward. And I get very excited to see how we go into Revolution of the Daleks and what that's all that's going to be about. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can actually think to say. That's all I've written down. It's a lot of information to take in, a lot of information for me personally to be able to have to digest. But I'm sure you guys have many more working theories and other answers that I don't have yet. So comments are down below. Anything I got wrong, anything I misinterpreted, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this episode and this season as a whole. So love this season. Can't wait for more. And Jodie and Sacha did a great job together. I think Jodie and Sacha especially, they really bounced off each other well as Doctor and Master. I think it's like their combination, their kind of duo as the Doctor and the Master is one of my favourite Doctor and Master pairings in this entire show. So yeah, definitely looking forward to more of that. But yeah, I'm hoping the companions return as well. I'm hoping all of the companions return. We could do with more with all three of them and the Doctor. I think maybe if the companions find out that the Doctor has been imprisoned by the Juju, maybe they might try and conduct some kind of prison bust. But that's unlikely. That's kind of unlikely. But I do hope we see all the same companions again with the Doctor. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But that is pretty much all I have from the season. Awesome season. Looking forward to what more is to come. But yeah, that was Doctor Who season 12, episode 10, titled "The Timeless Children." But there weren't timeless children. There was still only one timeless child. So I don't know what they were pulling there. But yeah, that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you thought of this season as a whole, and what you thought of all the reveals and how we're going to move forward in the show with this info. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.